These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Thursday, June 22nd, way sooner than we thought we would have to be recording. We have a draft show dropping at 5 a.m. today, but the Clippers decided to ruin all of our plans because they didn't want Malcolm Brogdon anymore. So now the Celtics have traded Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies in a 3-team deal. The Celtics are also sending out Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala and the 35th pick in the 2023 NBA draft to the Wizards. The Wizards are getting Tyus Jones as well from the Grizzlies, and the Celtics are getting Kristaps Porzingis, the 25th pick in today's draft, I guess, as you're technically hearing this, and a 2024 first via the Warriors from the Grizzlies. It's terrible. This stinks. I don't like it at all. Well, let me rephrase. Personally, I hate this. Hate it. I love Marcus Smart. Sam loves Marcus Smart. We've been over this a million times. Literally on the draft show that is dropping tomorrow, we talk about how trading Marcus Smart would be a disaster, right? That's future us, or
we're here.
Past us talking in the future, and now we're here. From a basketball perspective, in terms of value, it's pretty damn good value. Personally, though, it sucks, and I don't like it.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
This is even worse because they had a different trade that would have ruled.
Yeah, it would have been great.
And now it doesn't rule anymore. We were like joking that it was free and how great it was.
Free, and now it's not
free.
They
took my joy away.
Yeah.
For some European guy.
Not fun.
Insert the Rappaport video of him when he got drafted.
It's impossible for me to be unbiased in this situation, or even try to be, but an unbiased person would look at this trade and say it's a win. You move up 10 spots in the draft. You get as much as we love Marcus, objectively, you get the better player. You can quibble about fit and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Porzingis is better than Marcus Smart. He just is. You have Derek White still. You have Malcolm Brogdon still, who I might still get traded. I feel like there could still be a trade to be had there. Now you still have that asset to work with.
He's gone.
You still have Pritchard. Yeah, I would hope.
Make no mistake, he cannot come back.
That's what I'm going to say. You can't keep him after all this, right?
Which makes this 10 times worse because now you are going to give up Malcolm Brogdon, who is going to have no value because the Clippers do not want him. The Clippers are in dire need of a point guard, and they vetoed that because of injury concerns. Okay.
Ironic, right?
Now, after that news comes out, the rest of the league is aware of this trade is not going to happen. The Celtics need a trade partner. Brogdon is not the player that is sent away. So this could have been an easy spot for them to get off of Brogdon. Avoid any kind of gutting of the roster. And now you're starting to see pieces fall away. Smart's gone. Brogdon is going to have to be gone. I mean, he was traded. He was everything but traded online today. He probably thought he got traded.
I don't think you're, first and foremost, Brogdon for Porzingis is way above and beyond ridiculous value, right? That's crazy good value, more than you would expect. I don't think you're going to get anything close to that, and so I feel like any sort of Brogdon trade is just going to naturally feel like a disappointment because of that. Does that make sense? That being said, I do think now you have a chance to get multiple solid pieces for Brogdon. You're not going to get a star, you're not going to get a starter, but you can fill out the bench. And then the sneaky thing, you said this a lot too, and this is not the route you wanted to go with to do this, but Chris Paul really wants to win, and you got a real opening now, I suppose, for him to come in and lead a team. I just again, we're gonna put a pause on the green glasses just very briefly. Purely from a value perspective, Marcus Smart and pick 35 for Porzingis pick 25 and a first next season is objectively really good value, right? You traded Marcus Smart to move up 10 spots in the draft, get an all-star caliber center, and get a future first-round pick. That is good value. But it sucks. It still sucks, and I can't get past the fact that it sucks, and I don't like it. And you go from giving up a player that I was largely out on, which you were ragging on me for, to a player that we both love and was the heart and soul of the team, and all this. It's terrible, and I don't even know if it's gonna fully process for a while that we're not gonna see Marcus Smart in a Celtics uniform next year.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Sunday, Thursday last week, I said this would be my 9/11.
Yes.
Just gotten word
Yes.
that a second trade for the Latvian tower has gone through.
Yeah,
terrible.
it's awful. It's awful. The Warriors pick next year is top 4 protected, in case you're curious, in
Oh,
case the
great.
Warriors decide to take.
So just in case it actually becomes something. Great.
Man, I mean, I have to imagine.
Number 25 better be the greatest pick of all time.
I will say, and as much like, again, trying to get away from how deeply upsetting this is.
I have to be on that
sucks.
side. That's just
And I'm with you. I'm just trying to look at this from. I'm trying to move away from the cliff, if that makes sense. We just had a conversation with Tyler Rucker, which you will hear tomorrow, about how picks 20 through 40 in this draft could be anything, and there's a ton of great talent there. The Celtics now have a first-round pick. They will be making their first-round pick since what? 2 years ago, because they didn't have one this past year, correct? And 2 years ago they took, I can't remember, but I can't remember, when was the Celtics first-round pick? Celtics draft history.
21. They
It
traded
feels like
that.
It feels like a minute ago. The last first-round
It
pick
was
they made.
Neesmith.
Yeah, it was Neesmith Pritchard in 2020 was the last first-round pick they had. So they haven't had a cost-controlled contract since then. They'll have a real chance. We just talked today about how Jaime Jaquez of UCLA would be a perfect fit, and now they have a good chance to go out and bring him back potentially, or draft him. They've gotten back in the range for him. They should be able to get a really solid player with that pick, another rotational piece. Again, trying to look at it from the bright side, Derek White's going to probably be your full-time point guard now, and he showed full well that he can do that this past season. So it's not like you're left without a starting point guard. You have arguably, we talked about how Derek White was their third best player, and personally, again, losing Smart is like horrendous because that's like your childhood there. But you have a guy who arguably just had a better season than Mark, is ready to step into that starting point guard role. So from that perspective, it's all right. But yeah, man. Wow.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to spin it. It's terrible. Just because there was another deal on the table that was not a kick in the balls.
Clippers hater now. Hate the Clippers. Hate them. Horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible
fuck all
organization.
of LA. I try not to say the F word on the podcast.
Yeah, fuck the Clippers.
Fuck all of them.
Clippers suck. They ruined
my
night.
Rat fuck.
They are terrible. Ratless Steve Ballmer quick.
I hope Paul George and Kawhi play no games. I hope they miss on their draft pick tomorrow. I hope Marcus Morris remains on the team and continues to cause issues, whatever has been a problem lately. And I hope that stupid mascot rots. They have ruined my week. They have ruined my month,
my year, my life.
They waited until
the worst part
6 hours before the thing to start caring about Brogdon's injury.
Yeah.
Like, what did they figure out? Did someone tell them? They were like, "Oh yeah, he strained his forearm."
Yeah, what are you doing? The worst,
can't make the trade.
The worst part for me is I just blanked on what I was going to say. Because
the worst part for me, you gave Smart up when you didn't have to. The reports out that they wanted to give up Brogdon, and they couldn't, and they had to force the trade because this was already out. Mm-hmm. They got vice gripped by the CBA, which two of their players helped orchestrate, by the way. Jaylen Brown and Grant Williams.
We can't spin it like that. We can't spin
It's part of it.
They
They agreed to all of this, and they're going to end up getting, Grant's going to get screwed eventually. Maybe not right now. But he's not going to get past this contract. He won't get paid.
Yeah, it's bad.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, this went from a fantastic move to I don't even care. This has made winning not fun. I'm not excited.
That's what I was going to say. The worst part about this trade is that all the people, if they do win next season, all of the people who hated Smart are going to feel like they're right, and it's going to piss me off. Yeah, that's going to be the worst. That's going to be the worst part of all of this.
I didn't even think of that. Terrible. I just thought
it's
of how
awful.
I wouldn't care as much.
But how terrible is that? You know what's going to happen, right? All throughout next season, whenever the Celtics win, all those idiots are going to come out. All the Patriots fans, all the Red Sox fans, all those morons. Terrible. That it's just horrendous is going to be terrible.
I had people trying to tell me this was a better trade than the earlier trade.
Who?
Moronic
Who?
people I'm friends with.
Cut him off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. I even started this podcast explaining how, from a basketball perspective, it's good value because you get those first.
It's whatever.
But that it's just that's terrible.
I don't care about this. I mean, they moved up 10 spots. Woo.
And
they
out
got
of
a
the
Warriors pick that's going to be nothing.
My
Woo.
thing is windy fingers. My thing is Brad can't be done, right? Even past
No,
the
he has to
idea-
trade Brogdon now.
Exactly.
He legitimately has to trade Brogdon. There is no and this is a situation where you wouldn't want to trade Brogdon. You have to trade one of them. You don't trade both, but you have to.
Know who wins
because
this
your
trade?
hands are tied.
You know who wins this? Pritchard. Pritchard's feeling pretty good right
You know who wins this? Not me.
Well, I'm sure we'll dive into specific Brogdon trades at some point down the line. You have to imagine something like the Minnesota thing I've mentioned is on the table, getting a couple of wings back from them and reshaping your point guard position.
But now you don't need, you still need wings, but now you need point guard stuff. You're giving up Brogdon.
I know, but you have Derek White, you have Peyton Pritchard, and you run a lot of offense for the Jays, and the point guard market in free agency has some minimum guys who can fill in that third string spot.
There is no surplus anymore to capitalize on. You screwed that up.
It's not, but you still
gave
have
up the wrong guy.
They didn't have a choice, unfortunately.
I don't know.
But you still have Derek White. You still have Derek White, who is a starting caliber point guard, fully capable of playing that role. You still have Peyton Pritchard, who is fully capable of being a backup point guard. We've been saying this. He is a backup point guard. You still have the Jays. You still have Rob. You still have Al. You have whatever assets you can get back from Brogdon. You'll have a first-round pick coming in. You have Hauser. This is still a championship caliber team. It just sucks. it just sucks that Marcus had to be the one to go. And like I said, it doesn't really feel like a real thing. Brogdon has to be gone, like we keep saying. The Timberwolves make some sense. You get back like a Kyle Anderson and or Taurean Prince thing. Looking around the league, I don't really know what else, like who else would want him, right? Like the Bulls, like are they going to be stupid and want a start? Like, I mean, if they're stupid enough to give up Caruso for Brogdon in a first in some sort of deal, like that'd be cool. Caruso would be fine. Like, did the Magic want Brogdon to run their point? I don't know. I figured the Grizzlies would be a team that would want Brogdon. I wrote that as a trade. Like they decided to aim higher, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know who else would want Brogdon. Mavericks, maybe
nobody wants him.
You fleece him.
You want to know how you can tell nobody wants him? Is because nobody took him today. Today was the day. It's going to be fire when the tweet drops where Celtics trade Brogdon for a second.
It's not going to happen. They'd keep him before that.
I don't think they can keep him.
Somebody's put in. You can't either, but it's not going to be a second. As much as I dislike him, the sixth man of the year, shot 45% from three. A few years.
It's not about his play. It's about the situation.
I think you're reading too much into the situation because you're upset.
Situation. They literally reported that he was traded.
I know, and the Clippers saw his injury that they were stupid enough to not realize beforehand, and they decided not. But that doesn't mean he has zero value now. That the injury stuff was on the table. Like the injury stuff was known.
Not about the injury stuff. They have to trade him.
Yes.
You agree. That's what I'm saying.
Technically, yes, but from the perspective of, they have to trade. It's not like an expiring contract.
They have to trade him. He is not going to play basketball.
I don't think that affects the trade value as much as you're thinking it is. Like,
I'm not talking about trade value. I'm saying he legitimately cannot play for this team anymore.
Why?
Because he was reported traded. He's not going to come back and play.
That's happened before. Like that's not a new thing. The Brooks thing, Dylan Brooks, they traded him, and then they said, "Oh, psych, we got the wrong one. You need back," and it is fine.
They fucked up the names. It's different.
From the perspective of
they screwed up.
Yes,
two guys.
but from the perspective of we traded you or we tried to trade you. Oh, psych, come back and play. Like it still happened. I agree that the Celtics should and probably will have to trade him because personally, but I don't think it will affect the trade value as much as you think it will. like in terms of the return that you get.
They don't have much of a leg to stand on. They don't have much leverage.
Why? He's 6 men a year, shot 45% from 3.
It doesn't matter. It matters a little bit. They do not have as much leverage because it's obvious that he cannot come back and play. It's not going to happen.
Well, everyone knew they wanted to trade him or were looking into trading him.
The report came out that it was done.
Yes.
How do you think that affects him? How do you think he's ready to come back and put on a jersey?
I don't know, but I don't think they're not going to get a Porzingis is what I'm saying, but they're not going to have to settle for a second round pick. Like they're going to get.
It would have been cool if they did get Porzingis. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, this whole thing is terrible. It's just hopefully they package the Golden State first and a couple more first with Brogdon or whatever for something. And I mean, at the very least, maybe you trade him and use him as salary matching in a bigger deal because you have some first and a team wants to bottom out. I don't know anymore. Who knows? Do you have anything else?
No, I got nothing. This is a miserable day.
Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to How About Them Celtics. We appreciate you. Leave us 5 stars in Apple and Spotify. Let me go to bed, Sam. Take us home.
Yeah, that's it. Subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the notification bell. Follow the streaming services at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, name of the podcast. Follow Jack at JackSimoneNBA on Twitter. Follow me at Samuel France NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.